So, now it might be jarring that the thumbnail is the way that it is. And I'm gonna stop listening to the Bird and Gambo show for a while here. Maybe for the rest of the show. Actually, I'll put it in just in case they're talking about anything interesting. I can harp on it while I'm listening to the original sport. Anyway, it recommended me to put this vertically because when you're looking at like shorts on YouTube and you're scrolling through like this, like TikTok, it filters the video, the live stream through, which is something that's like when you're live for long enough on TikTok, it actually pays dividends. So I might as well try it here. The orientation of the video in this case also doesn't really matter, especially since a lot of the orientation of the videos that I make are vertical because they are also going on TikTok, with the idea that I would probably, more likely go viral or whatever on TikTok. Probably. Today we're talking about a lot of sports and sports related topics. And we got a variety of drinks, including McDonald's Sprite, water, and this coffee I made with like ice cream, more or less. It's creamer. Delicious. I was going for more of a frappe, but I got in homemade frappe, but I should have put I didn't want to wait. I should have put the coffee in the freezer for a little bit. Give me a moment. I am full on McDonald's nuggies and energized. I am ready for today. And I think we should get right down to business. Let's get down to business to protect the state of Arizona when it comes to sports and actually get their back this time, because I think the state of Arizona when it comes to sports is going to be looking a lot better through the coming years. But we're going to talk about sports as a whole and sports as general, and everything is lining up for a great MLB playoffs and football season and early basketball season. It all seems like it's as Kronk says from Frank, what is that movie? Emperor's New Groove. It's all coming together. Now, without any further ado, I'm gonna try my best to not even go on YouTube and. Are you kidding me? Of course, I'm gonna look at my own live stream. Make sure it looks good on the viewing end. Unless somebody wants to tell me in the chat at this very moment that it looks good on the viewing end. But it's gonna be a lot of football talk, and I'm gonna keep it condensed, hopefully. But I'm also hoping that some of them will want to talk football and basketball and baseball, just sports in general. Take a drink of water. Yes. Oh, that's your YouTube account. That's cool. Do you follow sports at all? Because if you don't, you're gonna get educated. I'm gonna go to the local sports channel and maybe play some cuts of audio that I might want to listen to. Oh, speaking of which, here's a fun one. The best of Diamondbacks, postseason, Corbin Carroll, Zach Gallen, etc. MLB, 5 minutes ago. That's probably going to be a really fun video. I'll probably watch it later. First look at the oh, no one cared about the Lakers. I thought that was the Sun Devils. Because it looked... No one here in Arizona cares about the Lakers. In fact, we all strongly dislike the Lakers out here in Arizona. I'm sure the national media are going to talk about... not really. Oh, you actually like the Lakers? Gross. Bro, your stream popped up in my YouTube shorts. Oh, yeah, see, you, sir, are actually... I was just saying that as soon as I started, so it was actually recommended to me to do it vertically, and it's been recommending me to do it vertically, because when you're scrolling through YouTube shorts, the lives will pop up. So there's going to be a lot of people, when they're scrolling through YouTube shorts, the live's going to pop up. And if you're scrolling through YouTube shorts about sports and sports-related highlights, so it's actually a big brain move by me. It's even a bigger brain move by me to do it vertically. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do it horizontally like I normally do on Twitch. But then again, these streams on YouTube are not going to be normal streams. Are going to be talking about a specific topic for a long period of time. And there's a plethora of videos that I can actually like kind of use for like bits of sound that I kind of want to talk about. And I don't know what the first topic I want to talk about. Yes, I do. I know exactly the first topic I want to talk about. I'm actually going to show you guys the video. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the ad actually, not the video. God damn it. Oh, I can probably... We're on a journey! It doesn't stop here! So, this is the Diamondbacks celebrating being the postseason even after a loss. They clinched the playoffs, are now going to the postseason. Homeboy left. And that's the first thing I want to talk about, is just how amazing and how beautiful and awesome every single one of those individuals are. And I think that is, as far as Arizona sports is concerned, probably the most important thing. Love you, Christian Walker, one of the only guys left from the team of the past age. Him, Zach Gallen, and Ketel Marte are one of the few remaining Diamondbacks that were here the first time they went to the playoffs. At least from what I can understand. Zach Gallen was a rookie. Christian Walker was on the bench behind Paul Goldschmidt. And Ketel Marte was also a rookie. And now these guys with a bunch of other rookies, a ton of rookies in their faces, have set a new standard for Diamondbacks baseball, and that new standard is postseason baseball. And I made a video a while ago that actually got some decent views, and since this is mostly going to be for the VOD and the video on demand, I'll make a point basically saying the Diamondbacks, like I said in that last video, other than the Astros, have probably been the reckoning of a lot of teams' hopes for the postseason, especially in the National League. The Diamondbacks have been very good as of lately in direct competition and beating teams that are in the must-win scenarios. Like, it was pivotal that the Diamondbacks took 6 out of 7 against the Cubs because the Cubs are literally sitting right now at home and they're gonna watch the Diamondbacks because they're literally one game out, and the Diamondbacks needed all 6 of those 7 wins for the to take the Cubs out of the playoffs, right? The Reds, that Red series, you know how much that matters? The Reds are like 2 games back of the Diamondbacks, or were 2 games back of the Diamondbacks. Guess what? They're sitting at home and they're gonna have to watch the Diamondbacks in the playoffs and try to run for the World Series. You know, try to make a sprint, or I guess you could say it's a marathon, not a sprint, but still, I think it's more of a marathon in basketball. It's more of a sprint in baseball because you play day after day after day. And I don't think we're gonna get a break other than today until after the NLDS is over if we decide to upset the Dodgers. But like, you look at the Cubs, they're out thanks to the Diamondbacks. Look at the Reds, they're out thanks to the Diamondbacks. You look at the series you look at a 2-game series where the Diamondbacks won 2 games against the Rangers, and they're actually a wild card team now instead of the division leaders, thanks to the Diamondbacks. And the Houston Astros vaulted and jumped over the Texas Rangers in the division in the American League, thanks to the Diamondbacks sucking. And unfortunately, the video that if you look right now on my channel, yeah, I'm talking to you, even though you probably don't really care about the whole sports side of things. You haven't actually mentioned anything. Am I getting a Discord notification? No, I don't follow sports. That makes sense. I mean, not a lot of people actually. What? You're not what? Hold on, I gotta react to this. Wait. What am I? Huh? What am I seeing in the disc? Okay, anyway. Okay. Concerning things going on in my Discord. I guess not really concerning since it's Discord. Whatever. We're just gonna let whatever I would have said there just then slide. I'm gonna put my earpiece in just in case there's anything interesting on the radio they're talking about at the very moment that I need to pay attention to. No, they're not. It's an ad. Okay. Again, that video that I made earlier. Just watching TV and that was here. Well, you know what? I'm glad you're here anyway. Actually, I'm gonna try to keep this short just for, so I can go to something more or less that is more tuned toward my audience. For the longest time I built, because here's the thing though, the longest time I built an audience over just being more relatable to everybody and playing video games and stuff like that, and food reviews, and not necessarily sports, and especially Arizona sports. No one wants to sit, I cannot really know one, but hardly, even friends of mine that are into sports didn't want to sit and listened to the radio, they were like, "Bro, you're listening to the sports radio? Like, what are you, like, in your 40s?" Like, no. I mean, I thought what they said, but it's like it's implied. You know what I mean? Like in high school, like I was the kid that wasn't. Someone asked like what music I'm listening to. I'm like, I'm listening to the sports radio. I'm listening to the on my phone, like right here. Like the one really good thing about this is I figured out how to listen to the sports radio, and I can listen to it regardless where I am, and I don't need Wi-Fi. Mm. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the Diamondbacks playoffs right now. 2011. A division. Oh, maybe I can make sandwich. W sandwich. I'm, I'm full on tendies. I'm not tendies. Nuggies. So be good. Anyway, I'm gonna continue. Oh, so if you left, someone just got here. You must be in for the long haul, maybe. Unless you just kept it on. Whatever. Yeah, Diamondbacks best of three. Diamondbacks, that's huge. And then again, we're talking playoffs baseball for the time being. Diamondbacks best of three in Milwaukee, and I truly think, even though they lost the series and got swept by the Astros, I just think they're still on the right track. And I think they're still going to be looking really good against Milwaukee in comparison to like WSG, Atomic Turkey. What do you mean by WSG? You gotta translate things in more basic, primitive human English. I'm not gonna understand acronym. I'm gonna. I think he left. Anyway, so I think that's all about like baseball talk. Although last thing I was gonna say, oh no, I ever said about the Mariners. I really actually do feel bad about the Mariners, like specifically about the Mariners. I don't want to see the Astros be in the playoffs again. I want to see the Diamondbacks like sweep the Astros or win the series against the Astros and let the Mariners into the playoffs instead of the Astros because I did I'd like that better than the Diamondbacks one losing to the Astros and getting in because they're losing and instead uh, no, it's much better if they're winning going into the playoffs rather than losing going into the playoffs. But still, they're going to the playoffs, and the playoffs is going to be really fun this year. I think the playoffs is going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a lot less of a surprise if a wild card team makes it far this year, just because it was so tight and close in both divisions, and just continue to stay interesting in the American League and in the National League. As far as some like we're talking about the Astros are a wild card team or not a wild card team. They were a wild card team for a long time, and it's like, well, they just won the World Series last year. Like, how are they a wild card team? I still don't know how they're a wild card team. They're quite literally, quietly, still pretty dominant and showed in that series. And it's unfortunately it was my team that they played, but and they were talking about breaking news that broke like a couple hours ago that the Brewers are going to be down one of the best starting pitchers on Tuesday, so they're going to have to go to someone else. I mean, we're not going to throw out our best starting pitcher against whoever they're going to throw, but there's a chance that Brandon Pfaadt's actually going to throw better than whoever they're going to throw out there. And we might actually be able to get a game. Whereas the Brewers are actually going to have to be behind because Fott's actually probably going to pitch pretty good. He's been pretty good lately. He's been like, I guess he's like a little inconsistent. He's a rookie, as that happens. But he has like a lot less pressure on him than the Brewers do, especially in this first game coming up on Tuesday. He's got a good face. When he pitches, and look up like Brandon Pfaadt like pitching. Like there should be a face out there on the internet of Brandon Pfaadt like mid pitch like. Homie look like he's got W Riz with the face that he makes while pitching. He's like. Homie looking like Zoolanders when he was about to stop a ninja star with a look, the blue steel. When he's pitching, it's gonna be a fun matchup. Pitching Diamondbacks pitching and the Brewers pitching, and I think honestly, I truly think we were planning specifically for. Like we're not gonna say, oh, we purposely lost, but I think we were definitely planning to play our hearts out for the playoffs, as soon as we figure out that we clinch, as opposed to setting up pitching matchups instead of and keeping our bullpen healthy and safe and ready. So I guess that's the Diamondbacks part. I guess we should probably talk about hot takes of football because everyone who's probably coming in through scrolling through YouTube Live or scrolling through YouTube shorts are probably hoping, if you look at the title, that would talk about football. Anyone watching the pod and clicking on the pod is going to be like, oh my gosh. First of all, thumbnail, which I'll talk about the thumbnail later because Suns Media Day. And even there's a big video right here, Suns Media Day. And football. I think it's very apparent that it's really what I was talking right now. And since we're switching to football, even though they're still talking about baseball on the live radio show that I'm listening to right now. Again, just in case anything breaking news happens and it's like, oh, I want to talk about. Ooh, that sounds like something really good to talk about right now. I'm gonna show. I can't show the video, but I can show a NFL game. It's the Cardinals game. The Cardinals have been a delightful surprise in Arizona as far as beating the Cowboys and going toe to toe with possibly the best team in the NFL and the 49ers. And the Big Three. Bubble. Well, why do we feel the pressure of the super team? Like I think they're ready for the test. If anything, they're a super team because they're just that good. They're simply every guy on the team is him. Like literally every single guy up and down the lineup of the Suns is him. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about football. Oh, we're talking about football. Cardinal football, but in general, just football in general. So, I actually put a post on Twitter that probably not a lot of people saw about this game right here. If you watch this game, if you're a 49ers fan, or if you're a Cardinals fan and you watch this game, if you're just a fan of football in general and you watch this game, I would dumps. What? Whatever. Yeah, chicken nuggies. They were delicious. I had a 20-piece chicken nugget, and about like 15 of those pieces probably went into the toilet and into the sewer system like 5 minutes ago. Anyway. Hey, what up? This is one of those YouTube live streams where I'm doing it straight just for the VOD, hoping that people scrolling through YouTube Shorts will find this video, seeing probably hopefully football highlights and baseball and basketball, etc., highlights. Yeah, but 20 nuggies are delicious. It's scrumdiddly. I had it with a multitude of sauces. I had like a sweet and sour. Yeah, it's actually at McDonald's, or at the McDonald's that I went to. Which, by the way, can I just say, McDonald's does all this advertising, and they do advertising like globally, right? You know, they do advertising for everything, right? And in any facet of media, they do advertising, product placement, etc. But like, McDonald's doesn't even need to do advertising. I was literally talking the other day on live stream, side conversation before I actually get back into football, just since you're here in the live stream. We talk about something that relates to literally everybody, and that one thing is McDonald's, and this could be a whole live stream itself. Wendy's nuggies. Oh, that's another thing. We could talk about just nuggies, fast food nuggies, and what nuggie is truly the best nuggie. Like if we had them all in front of us all at once, but it's actually genuinely not the McDonald's nuggie. It probably is the Wendy's nuggie. Like at all the fast food nuggies. But that's not the thing. That's not the thing I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, I talked about on live stream yesterday on Twitch, chicken tendy on Twitch, chicken with just an N, all lowercase, and the number 10, the lowercase letter D on Twitch. But I think you're already followed on Twitch. I think you're KJ, right? I think, if I recall. Which now you notified me that you've been here for the long haul, like actually, like legitimately actually. Been here for the long haul. I always wanted to open the conversation on a live stream for at least an hour, and not this one in particular, but maybe later on in the future, of what do you call McDonald's? Like a nickname. Everyone has a nickname. Like McDonald's doesn't need to have any advertising, and they advertise all the time, but they probably don't even need any more advertising literally whatsoever, because everybody who goes to McDonald's calls McDonald's something that's not McDonald's, and I want to know what that thing is that you call McDonald's that's not McDonald's. I think that would be a great idea that hopefully will not be stolen, because I'm writing it down in my brain, and it's probably been done before, but not for like hours on end, just sitting down. Like, hey, welcome to the live stream. What do you call McDonald's? It's not McDonald's. Go. Yeah, you're calling McDonald's anything but McDonald's. What do you call McDonald's? I call it the Donnies, so I think it's really funny to call it the Donnies. You know. Also, there's a glare. That glare attract. I think there's a certain amount of like, it doesn't matter if there's a glare there, really. nothing back there that you need to see where the glare is preventing you from seeing it, and it's actually like the mixture of the light is just nice and bright. Actually, like this is the best time to do of the video on a live stream, in my opinion. As far as the lighting's concerned, I gotta keep that in mind. What time is it? Maybe I'll do one tomorrow at like around 3 o'clock. Yeah, that sounds good. You know, lights coming in, the sun's going down. When the sun comes up, and this house is probably facing like, what is this? Really cent. Facing north. North. This house facing north, like pretty much directly. You know, like when the sun goes up, you don't really see anything until like the sun goes down, and it can kind of shine through the window a little bit, sort of. There wasn't like trees and shit in the way. Not the point. You didn't have an answer? I figuring you'd tell me, oh yeah, I call McDonald's Mickey D's or D's or McDonald's or McDingles or something. Really anything, it's like Mick and anything that's not Donald at the end, right? It does start with the letter D, of course. Whatever. McDeezy's, yeah, whatever, okay. Okay, dog, I see you, dog. Fine, I'll get back to talking about football. Watching the Arizona San Francisco game, and I really haven't watched any of the games except Arizona games, but watching football, I've watched a lot about college football. We'll talk about college football after this because we want to double down on football. Because that's what you kind of do around here. This is America, and over 1/3 of the population likes football and doesn't really follow any other and a third of that population doesn't follow any other sports other than football. And they don't like soccer, which over like 4/5 of the population of the world likes soccer, and United States didn't really care for it, which is weird. And I'm starting to like it a little bit more. Songs on the radio. Football. I was quite literally, in my eyes, watching Jerry Rice and Tom Brady play pitch and catch, playing the Cardinals. And the Cardinals still played really good. Like, considering that I was watching Jerry Rice and Tom Brady play for the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, yesterday. Well, because you need, because, okay, we'll talk about basketball later. You need an army to beat. Okay, we'll talk about it later. So I'm going to talk about football right now. Real football. I usually don't talk about football. You know, a lot of other people talk about football. I like to talk about what a lot of people are not talking about, because I like to be more passionate about baseball and basketball, and even about hockey if I can actually follow hockey. Like, but again, like I think the professional team here has to give a good product on the ice for me to actually really care. In other teams, I don't really need to see a good product. I already kind of am too close knit, I guess you could say. Welcome in or talking about football. Football, ooh. Everyone clap your hands. And I'm talking about specifically watching Tom Brady and Jerry Rice on Sunday yesterday play against the Cardinals. Um, I, I mean, what I mean by that, I mean Brock Purdy. When I say Tom Brady and Jerry Rice, I mean Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk play against the Cardinals defense, which actually did a pretty decent job against, considering they did a really good job considering it was Tom Brady and Jerry Rice out there for the San Francisco 49ers. And I say Jerry Rice because Jerry Rice played for the 49ers. So it's kind of funny how they found Jerry Rice again and Brandon Ayuk. I don't know how you find Jerry Rice twice. You know what I mean? Like, you find the best receiver in the history of football twice. Twice? Seriously? Not once, twice. You know how lucky the Cardinals got to find the best receiver in the history of football? Or the second best receiver in the history of football? For San Francisco 49ers to find the best receiver in the history of football twice. And possibly the best quarterback in the history of football. I'm over exaggerating, of course. But it was kind of ridiculous. It was like, oh my gosh, we just can't do anything to stop these guys. Christian McCaffrey. It's like how do you compete? How do you compete? We have a bunch of guys from the back streets. You know, we have the literal Backstreet Boys, but they're not boys, they're men, and they're not singing. They're playing football, and it's like, how do you compete? You know, I don't know. And like, they did really good. They played physical, and they're playing like killers. I hope going out there, I hope they have coming out in between the white lines. I hope they have the Joker mentality of I want to ruthlessly kill everything and bring demise and despair to you as far as playing football. And we still, thanks to the likeness of Tom Brady and Jerry Rice, Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk, did not have a chance because it was literally the best quarterback ever out there and the best wide receiver ever out there for San Francisco. And Christian McCaffrey, of course, which was playing like Tony Gonzalez out there. I don't know if he's a tight end. I think he's just a running back, but still. Like, it's just the absurd. It's unreal what San Francisco's doing right now. And in that same light, it's unreal what the Cardinals are doing, being able to actually hang with them in the game. And the hot take, as I said, I was going to give hot takes. The hot take for the well, not really a hot take, but the hot take is that Brandon Ayuk is gonna be at the end of his career compared to Jerry Rice and Gerald and Randy Moss and all the greatest. But I guess the hot take is that Brock Purdy might be the next Tom Brady. Is that a hot take? I feel like that's a hot take. That's what you would call a hot take. And that's what I said on Twitter, basically. So we'll see what happens in the next 10 years or so. Should be interesting to watch as the San Francisco 49ers found a way to get yet again one of the greatest quarterback and wide receiver duos of all time so far. That moves me, since I don't want to talk about any of these other games that happened over the weekend in NFL, because I really only care about the Cardinals and what they did and that they played in the NFL. So when that opponent's like the Cowboys, I'm like, ha ha ha, get shit on Cowboys fans, and I'm still like, ha 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 ha, get shit on Cowboys fans, but I'm not really going to talk about that right now because I can care less because there's other things. There's so many other things that I want to talk about, and so many games in college football that I actually watch and follow because college football is a lot more fun to watch in every single way than NFL football. I think NFL football is, well, it's obviously professional football, so it's more professional, so the games have more expected outcomes, and you don't like on a 3rd and 20, you're not going to give up a touchdown because it's NFL football. It's just something that doesn't happen in NFL. You're not going to blow a coverage and give up a 60-yard touchdown because you blew a coverage in the NFL because it's the NFL. But now we're going to switch over to talk about college football, where you can blow a coverage and give up a 60-yard touchdown on a 3rd and 20. It happens all the time in college football. It happens in championship, high-level, high-intensity games in college football, where Alabama scores a touchdown on what's mostly a blown coverage to win a championship from Tua Tagovailoa, who literally hoisted a ball like over his shoulder, like no look, just like throwing up a prayer and literally hoping to God that someone's gonna catch it on third and hopeless turn into winning a championship. I'm like, what? In NFL football, that's an interception. In NFL football, that's what we call a sack or an interception. But thanks to the magic of college football, and in most cases, and when I watch Alabama for the 1 millionth time on national television, the and thank God they're starting to diminish and kind of decline. Yeah, so we're talking about college football. I think it's going to be very clear. In fact, I think college football arguably is, if we're talking the best sport, in my opinion, the best sport is college basketball. But if we're talking the most popular sport in America, and I think if we're talking about something that the rest of the world can get behind in America and something that the rest of the world can adopt, I think the chances of NFL being adopted by the rest of the world aren't very high. But the chances of football, specifically college football, being adopted by the rest of the world are probably a lot higher. Because college football is something completely different and totally unique on its own, completely special, and never ceases to amaze every given Saturday or Friday. Hello, Utah? Hello? I thought for sure it was a given that Utah, after giving the business to Florida, which, by the way, I mean, other than in this game against Kentucky, is an SEC team and in the top 25, and now they don't look as convincing, obviously, after the game against Kentucky. But after Utah gave the business to a SEC team, I'm going to say it one more time, Utah, a team in the Pac-12, gave the business to an SEC team earlier on in the season. I'm going to say it one more time. Utah, if they were in the SEC, would dominate the SEC right now. Oregon State just beat Utah on Friday, and I looked at the score. I was like, I had to double check. I was like, there's no way that I really missed that. Like, no, seriously, that I missed that. Like, Utah actually got beat number 1 and beat by Oregon State number 2. Who, if I'm, and those are the only two And Utah and Oregon State and Washington State are the only two true Pac-12 teams that just played together the other day or last week. And Washington State won that game, and you're telling me Oregon State bounced back after that loss, close, but after that loss, and beat Utah? I gotta look at the highlights of the game. Like at the very right now moment, live at almost 4 o'clock, 3:50. I gotta I gotta look at the highlights of the game because I would probably say that if I look at these, I'm probably gonna be blown away by what Oregon State was able to do. Actually, I think the game was on ESPN. In fact, I think that's why I was on Friday because it was on ESPN. Apparently, somehow, some way, they couldn't slate a well, I guess it was a top 25, quote unquote. Oregon State probably fell out, but or maybe still a top 25 matchup, and highly anticipated. What should have been highly anticipated. And in fact, that game was probably the best football game played last week. And there was some really good football played last week in college, in the college football scene, that probably went underappreciated. And that game completely slipped under my nose because I thought there was no way it's possible that at a game like Utah Oregon State, which probably could have been college football Saturday's destination if it wasn't for the fact that they played on Friday and not on Saturday. Because if I'm looking at the rest of these games, I'm like, I mean, other than the Duke Notre Dame game, which actually, from what I understood, didn't disappoint, and other than the USC Colorado game, which did disappoint, but it disappointed me more because it disappointed me because it looked like Colorado played, I guess, better than they should or better than I was thinking, and it looked like USC once again, at least defensively from time to time, seemed to struggle or play down to the competition or whatever, and it made Arizona State's close loss feel further away in the fact that Arizona State should have won a game against Cal and they didn't. And I'll talk about that specifically later. But man, what a great week in college football. And possibly one of the best games that I'm going to watch the highlights of right now. Quite possibly was the best game, and it was played on Friday. It wasn't even played on Saturday. And it's a shame because, like, yeah, number 10 Utah versus number 19 Oregon State. I guess they only went down one rank after a close loss to Washington State, who's probably, they're talking about the Apple Cup, the Washington State rivalry game, probably being the best rivalry game possibly on this slate for rivalry weekend in the last week of college football, and that might be the case. Like, they're talking about going back out, which they have. I don't know if it's going to be like one time when Mike Leach was still the coach, they went out to shoot Pullman. No. Haven't they been out to Corvallis before? Corvallis is going to be a good destination too, because Oregon is going to be I mean, now that Oregon State just picked up a win against Utah, I'm going to say it again, Utah, the team that would probably dominate the SEC right now, no questions asked. Now that Oregon State picked up a win against Utah, maybe Oregon, the Civil War will be the best place for college football Saturday to be. I mean, they're probably going to be at Michigan, Ohio State yet again, but keep that on your radar. My bet right now is that for rivalry weekend, and all the big, amazing games that are going to be on rivalry weekend, the Civil War between Oregon and Oregon State is probably going to be, from what I see right now, the best game on rivalry weekend, regardless of where college football game day is at. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot to pick. But since they beat Utah, and Utah is no scrub, I think Utah still has a really good chance of taking revenge in this from this game. Let me shut up and watch the damn replay of this. What a great pass. What a great. I have to move my camera and look at the score throughout the game, just because I didn't catch the game, and it was on Fox Sports 1, dude. I could have actually watched it. Maybe I can still watch it, like record it or whatever, go back, watch the whole thing as a fan of college football would. Here, I'll just hold the damn thing. Am I missing the 4 o'clock reset in the Burton Camera show? Really, it's only 4:55. Maybe I will go watch the whole thing after watching the highlights. It'd be a fun one to just kind of sit and watch. It's a shame that I missed it. I had no idea it'd be on FS1. I had no idea it was going to be on Friday. If I had known it was going to be on Friday on FS1, then I would have watched it, because we actually have that on our cable package or Sling. It's like, you could just, like, I just expected Utah. Here, I'll show a little bit so you can kind of see. I expected Utah not necessarily to, like, I wouldn't say that I expected Utah to beat Oregon State and, like, as in, like, to take care of business, even though Oregon State lost against Washington State. But I can say for sure that I expected Utah to go undefeated this year, and prove once again just how much of a dominating force Utah football has been and continues to be within the Pac-12, which might be, in fact, quite literally is the best league in college football this year. And I don't think it's close, like, arguably. Like, you can't make an argument, even though, the number one team isn't, like, if that was the case, then the number one team would be Utah, or they're always underrated. Like, they're always underrated. Like, the Pac-12 has, I'm assuming, Utah will probably go down. I don't know how far down, but they'll go down a little bit. I don't think this loss is an embarrassment. I think this is just proof. I think this might be just proof of how good Oregon State actually is, and not, how quote unquote bad Utah is. I mean, their quarterback's probably not nearly as good as the other quarterbacks in the Pac-12, but bro, I chipped a back tooth on a crouton. What? And it's gotta be like some rock hard croutons. Are you sure you don't have a bag of rocks? Are you sure you don't have a bag of rocks? No, did you just come here to say that and then leave? Wild. This man's insane. Oh, no, he didn't. They were hella hard. Anyway. Oh, I was just watching this Utah-Oregon State highlights, and I still am, because the game was on Friday, and usually college football games, especially big games against ranked opponents that are slated to be on national television, are usually on Saturday, but I guess sometimes in some occasions when the game's at night and in Corvallis, which is where Oregon State plays, and Oregon State is one of the two remaining actual Pac-12 teams that are still in the Pac, that are still the Pac-12, that at this point might dominate the Pac-12 between Oregon State and Washington State. Okay, what I'm trying to say is when it's a late night game, because it's on the West Coast instead of the East Coast, or instead of the Midwest or whatever, they'll throw it on Friday night so everybody can watch, because they'll be more interested if it's the only thing on a Friday night. Whereas a Saturday night, there's probably going to be a bigger game on, or a Saturday afternoon even, there's probably going to be a bigger game on. But I don't know, this looks like, from my perspective, the best game. And there's a couple of really good games in college football last week, or on Saturday. I can say a week because it wasn't a whole week that passed, I guess. Yeah, 14-0. I mean, actually, technically, from the looks of it, Oregon State dominated, but I think it was a lot closer. I think Utah started to make a comeback. That might have been a pass interference if they missed that call. I don't know. Utah again with the ball, throwing it underneath to where the ref was. Ref, get out the way. First down, Utah. Used the ref as like a player on your team, I guess, a little bit there. Oh, man, threw an interception. Perfect throw straight to the Oregon State DB. Foul. Okay, well, that might have been a PI. They might hit that one back. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not what they're talking about. Where's the flag at? I don't know. Dab. You dabbing on me? Loading. Are you loading mentally? Well, yeah, Oregon State dominated. Okay, on paper, this game was probably one of the best games on paper, but it looks like Oregon State's just dominating. Oh, your mind is always, every time your brain is working, it's always working overtime. Even after a long, well, I know what you're gonna say, because we're all gonna say it. I never load 100%. I never load 100%. Yes, my brain, the magic within, constantly stuck on 99% of download as far as information. Around 65% is adequate enough. I think it's just funnier to say, well, okay, I think it's funnier to say just constantly stuck at 99%. It's like it's just annoying because it's just stuck there. It's like it's been at 99% for like 20 minutes and it says 10 minutes. What? Yeah, like a Windows update. Yeah, it's your PC. Yeah, my brain is like the equivalent of like a PC restarting, and it just never restarts for some reason. Like when I get up in the morning, yeah, it's my brain. It just refuses to restart. You have to like hit it a few times. Blue screen. what does Patrick say? The recess of my mind is an enigma, or whatever he says. Oh, break a tackle, big fella. Break a tackle, big fella. Yeah, Utah didn't show up until later. Reminds me of when Arizona State played in Corvallis, and they were possibly college football playoff bound, and except they didn't show up really at all. That was a long time ago. I'm still watching the highlights of the football, but I'm obviously like talking directly to you since you're in the live stream. It's kind of a mix of like I want to talk sports obviously, but since you're in the live stream, it's like might as well talk to the homie while he's here. Oh my gosh, they even showed the score of the game that I was listening to. That no wonder why I didn't see that game, because I wasn't focused on. Because that makes sense. I was tunnel visioned on the Diamondbacks game. That game was probably on at the same time as the Diamondbacks game was. So there was no way in the world that I was going to want to actually watch it. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Again, I'd probably still have the game on. And then by the time Oregon State started pulling away, I'd be like, okay, I guess Oregon State's going to win this game. I'll turn it off and listen to Diamondbacks instead. Talk about sports, I don't care. I'm just here chilling. Hey, that's facts. But, the streamer part of me says, no, wait a minute, I gotta engage with the viewer. No, that's the streamer part of me. I'm being a good streamer. Or what people, at least what I think people would typically say, oh, that's not my streamer. My streamer entered the blank, and what I want people to say is that my streamer engages with the audience, even if he's talking about a topic, even if he's talking about something completely different, he's still going to engage with the audience. It's still kind of like, in other words, it's like when you're running a business, specifically a restaurant, it could be any business, engaging with the customer has to be the first and foremost priority. So it's fine that we take a minute here or two to talk directly to the audience. I'm talking to you and the other person who's watching, not saying anything, by the way. You're still watching as I talk directly to the audience. You're the audience. Say something, darn it. No pressure. Yeah, I see there's 2 viewers. Yeah, well, I know that's you, but there's 2 viewers, right? That's a weird face. Is that a face? Is that an emote? Like for YouTube, is that an emote? Does YouTube have emotes? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, I can sit and talk about college football. I can sit and talk about college football anytime. But having direct interaction with the audience is what really matters as far as streaming concerned. So when I go live, I sacrifice showing the gameplay because I want to have a direct interaction with the audience, right? When I go live and there's no gameplay, I'm not playing a game or anything. When I go live in this case, sure, I want to talk about football, baseball, and basketball, and etc., etc. It's for the VOD. Is that actually... Well, no, that answer my question. I mean, you put more emotes. I'm assuming these are YouTube emotes. They have to be. I've never been on the... fun fact. Okay, not really. Oh, fun fact. I have been in a YouTube live stream, but I haven't been, as of late, since they updated YouTube live streams. Yeah, YouTube emotes. Yeah, YouTube is trying to do a lot of stuff to compete with Twitch as far as live streaming is concerned. And as Moist Critical said the other day, and that's a topic we could always talk about. Because seeing as though this is a live stream, again, even though the topic in the thumbnail is the sports related topic, which I haven't even talked about the thumbnail yet, which I should probably talk about eventually. We can always talk about live streaming in general, and it's always a fascinating topic to talk about on YouTube, is to talk about YouTube in general. In fact, I think the YouTube algorithm, I think legitimately, you know how like in the search bar, it when you type in somebody's name, a celebrity's name in the search bar, they show up like they show up, right? Like you're gonna get bombarded if like you type in any name. Actually, if you just type in any first name, you're gonna get bombarded with names of celebrities that share that name or whatever. Well, the YouTube algorithm, when you type in YouTube into is like looking in the mirror, and they like the look of themselves in the mirror. So I think the reason, no. Now look at me when I say this. The reason why videos specifically about YouTube are specifically about talking about YouTube, but they're talking about streaming as a whole, so they're gonna lump YouTube in with it. Or if I go to, let's see here. If I go now that I'm on the topic, like a video like this that Moist Critical made 3 days ago that I watched the whole thing of, and all his videos get a lot of views. And if this was Captain Sparkles, then it actually might even get more views. A video like that specifically about YouTube is like YouTube looking in the mirror and saying, "Oh, I look good today, huh? Hey, I look good today. Someone talking about me today again." So the algorithm is actually recommending itself. I think there's a certain anything advertising YouTube in any capacity, the YouTube algorithm likes to pick it up. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, I might have to use that as a video idea or a live stream idea. See if the YouTube algorithm picks up a video specifically because I'm mentioning YouTube in the title. And I think a lot of people obviously go on Google when they look up YouTube, or they go on YouTube and they look up videos about YouTubers, or use the word YouTube a lot in search, and YouTube probably pops up in search results a lot and stuff like that. So it's actually like an never-ending cycle. I think the algorithm pushes out YouTube related content on YouTube because it's the one thing that is not just good for because YouTube algorithm is doing so I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting because the algorithm wants to push things that are good for the that are good for the site, right? And they want to continue, and Google wants to push things to the top of the search results that are good for Google, things you're going to click on, and then dig through, and then you're going to search more specific, and then you're going to click on it, and then okay, that's what I want. So you're going to search either more specifically, or you're going to scroll through and click on another thing, and etc. They want you to visit websites, and then you go back to Google, etc., etc. So YouTube's like that too. They're like, we're going to send you a video that's going to keep you on the website, and then we're going to send you a video that's actually about the website itself. Because, and people want to watch stuff about the website itself, because people are concerned about the health of the website. And anyone who wants to actually make videos on the website, or anyone who does currently make videos on the website, gravitates toward those videos about the website itself. and then YouTube sends it out to more people who just want to learn about it, who maybe don't want to make videos about it, but think it's interesting anyway, because it is. Like, it truly, legitimately is good content. Because it's like the news about, because it's, and ultimately what it is it's the news, and people love the news, good or bad, people still eat up the news about the site itself, but it's being advertised in a way that's more relatable by a creator. Like that's another thing. YouTube can't. That's another thing. YouTube itself, like a production of which by the way they would have a huge production company, you know, like a huge team and staff. Like if YouTube itself like made a video about the news of YouTube, like maybe it would get a lot of views. In fact, it would probably get, because they would probably also advertise it themselves and like show it on every like they would advertise on every single YouTube video. Every single YouTube video would have the advertisement of YouTube, and in fact, I don't want to take partial ownership in this brilliant idea, but if they haven't done it already, and however I know they haven't done it already, because it would get like hundreds of millions of views, is when they have a big update to the channel, take a production team, or that's what they're gonna do. They probably take a production team, but they should just take like a creator or multiple creators into a studio and say, hey, do you want to talk about the updates of the channel? The updates of, not the channel, I keep on saying the channel. Does YouTube, I think YouTube probably has a channel, and I think about that. That would make sense. YouTube's YouTube channel. That works, just YouTube, the letter U, oh, I put Tybe. YouTube, looking up YouTube on YouTube. As a sniper wolf, I watched the scariest videos on YouTube. Spending, oh, cool, that's not YouTube, okay. I guess what, would YouTube TV be YouTube's channel? Fuck. Yeah, YouTube. YouTube has a channel called YouTube. Huh. You could watch their trailer. Huh. You know, I didn't think about it until just now, but it makes sense that YouTube would have a channel called YouTube, and it has 37.8 million subscribers. The fact that it's not the most subscribed channel on YouTube is actually kind of insane. YouTube most viewed videos. Oh no, it's laser beam. Like, okay, so if YouTube has a channel, does that mean that they can take anyone's video, including mine, and put it on their channel? I mean, I don't think that would matter. No, what's crazy though is that wouldn't even matter. This is according to how the YouTube algorithm works. If YouTube put your video on their channel itself, then that would actually be a detriment, and compared to just putting it on the front page or the home page, right? Because the way the algorithm works, no one really goes. No one. It feels like literally no one except for me goes into the subscription page and the live feed. Oh my god! Oh god! Some random dude inside his bedroom is live talking about YouTube as a whole, and stop talking about sports for so far a good like 15 minutes. Man, it'd be such a shame if you could watch this guy live right now. But wait. Hold on a second. Oh, there he is. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's live. Oh, there's two people watching. Oh, but there was two people watching before I clicked on the video. I gotta like. You gotta like the video. That's funny. Isn't that crazy? Oh, the likes updated. Someone must have liked it. So, that aside about YouTube in particular. Okay, now it says there's one person. Well, there was two people watching. And it turns out not even I like my own content enough to watch it for more than like 5 minutes. Which is not true because I watch my content entirely. Well, since I made it, I don't actually watch it. I just have it on. Just like anyone, including you, who are probably you're watching it still right now. Just have it on in the background. I completely forgot where I was going, except I didn't because I put the sports back up. But as far as YouTube, I kind of did. Let's just say it's fascinating. It is always entertaining and just good entertainment, good quality podcast type of topic, for a good 20 to 30 minutes talking about YouTube and Twitch, specifically in the future of those, the news. It's the news. No one else, I personally don't really watch the news, but I will definitely turn on the news about, like, social media as a whole. Like, when it comes to, like, just all the absurd stuff that's happened, especially within the last couple of years, as far as changes and court cases and overreactions and changes and all that bullshit that's happened over the last couple of years, as far as YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and every social media website has probably changed so much more over the last couple of years than they have over the last 20. Even though some of them, all of them didn't really exist, I guess, so that wouldn't make any sense. Did they exist? No, they did, yeah, over the last 20. Yeah, no, I'm right, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, YouTube as a whole is, well, actually, no, YouTube as a whole is not that old. But social media as a concept is probably that old. In fact, I think Twitch is old. I think that's another thing about Twitch. And Twitch, as far as live streaming on Twitch, I think Twitch is older as a platform. That's why they have a upper hand. I think. I could be wrong. Twitch live streams were basically... Twitch live streams were... Like this, like right now, like way back in the day, on Twitch would be considered good quality live stream. Like really good live stream, which is crazy. And now that I think about it, if I was streaming way back in the day, and this was considered a good quality live stream way back in the day, or something like this, then that would mean that I would probably have great success, but that's why we gotta level up our game. Speaking of game, football game. Speaking of football, am I actually done about talking about football? College football in general? Oh, there's gotta be one more. What was the game that I was watching yesterday, a couple days ago, on Saturday? That was a Notre Dame Duke. Did Duke end up winning that? I actually have no clue because I turned it off because I was watching the baseball. I was watching the Mariners and the Mariners and the Rangers play. which is kind of a big deal because the Diamondbacks had a big effect on the playoffs race in the American League, and I kind of wanted the Mariners to win just because the Mariners did us a good deal. The Mariners gave us a treasure that they themselves could not possess. However, they kind of threw that treasure away. They had the treasure in their hands and they kind of threw it in the trash can. But I couldn't care too much about, not the Mariners, but I couldn't care really too much about the football that was on at that time, which was the big game of the day, or the big game of the day, college football game day. So I don't even know between Notre Dame and Duke, I don't know who won that. But I guess I'll look at it right now. It's 17 minutes highlights. It can't be that 16 minutes. It can't be that much highlights. Those 16 minutes, unless they're gonna show college football game day, which makes sense, but pretty much make no sense. If you haven't seen college football game day, I don't think you have to really like sports to like what they do in college football game day. It's pretty cool. They go out to the destination. They go out to where they're gonna play football on like Saturday morning here, but over where they're usually at, it's like the afternoon. A normal time of day. And imagine doing a live stream at a normal time of day where the most people can actually watch it live. A concept that I struggle with. But they do a very good job with their audience and getting the most eyeballs. They've found the formula. College Football Saturday, ESPN College Football Saturday has found the formula of making a really good product and getting the most people to watch that product. And not just because it's football, it's genuinely something that you actually have to sit and watch these days, regardless of the football, regardless of the interest of football. Just sit and watch at least the last 15 minutes when they're picking the games and Lee Corso puts on the headgear and they have the celebrity guest picker, which they're in Boulder, Colorado, so they had The Rock. And at Duke, they had Ken John, the doctor who plays a doctor in whatever show that was, and he's a really funny guy. He's probably the funniest guy they had on in a long time. And I don't think they've really ever been to Duke, because it's not the college football road show. It's not the college basketball road show. It's the college football road show. So why would they go to Duke? Right? That's usually what happens. And next week they're gonna go to the Red River rivalry yet again, which, to be fair, is always one of the best games on, no matter what week the Red River rivalry is. And I guess they designated, obviously this week, not right next week, this week, for the Red River rivalry. Red River rival. I can't say that 10 times fast, or really 1 time fast. Red River rivalry. It's the rivalry part that I have struggles with. Red River, I can say that is fine. But rivalry, I can't really say. If you spell it out and spell it how it sounds and pronounce it, I'm still having pronounced rivalry. I'm still not gonna get it right. Sounds like there's a W in there, and I'm not talking about the beginning of the word. Rivalry. WRRE. I might have to get in contact with my boy, Michael Turk, the punter of Oklahoma, the punter in Oklahoma, and for Oklahoma for 2 years, and they are well known as the punter of Oklahoma, and who's played in that game twice. I wonder if maybe he'll be on. I don't think so. He's not like that guy. But it would be cool. I mean, he's not a celebrity really either. I don't know. They'll probably have some. I don't know if it's in Texas or Oklahoma, but either way, they're gonna have some well-known guy from Texas and or Oklahoma. Wait a minute. Not to bring up a video that I made in the past on my channel that you should probably watch if you're listening to the live stream right now. Unless you don't care about sports whatsoever. Kevin Durant, if it's in Texas, Kevin Durant, I did a video called Where Will KD Be? I'm always injured on the ground here. Oh, right, I forgot. But I literally watched that. That was like one of the parts that I actually tuned in and I saw. 21-14, he was injured with 18 seconds left. Sucks to suck. Possibility of winning the game for your team and you're injured with 18 seconds left on a drive to win the game. It's gotta be the worst way to lose a game for literally any football team. For Duke in that game, I mean, that's gotta be absolutely heartbreaking. Alex Mercer, he's carnage, but better. Frieza, how strong is Frieza? Wait, are we gonna do is Death Battle gonna, okay, completely unrelated, weird. Death Battle's gonna do Frieza versus what universe is this? But who's this guy from? Alex Mercer? Who's this guy? I don't know. It's just weird to see DBZ character in Death Battle. I think, okay, we're gonna have like a villain from Frieza's not exactly Goku. Even Gold Frieza is quite clearly not exactly Goku's level, and Goku still gets shellacked by Superman. And they did a rematch in Death Battle, and time to talk about the actual thumbnail itself. Speaking of Kevin Durant, I guess I could do a quick Google search if I really wanted to. In fact, I technically could do it right now and then come back to the live stream and I'll hit resume live. But I don't want to. I'll look it up on YouTube and see if I can find. I have to kind of remember. Preview Texas versus or Oklahoma versus it's Oklahoma game, so it's gonna be at Oklahoma. It's not gonna be at Texas, so they're not gonna have Kevin Durant. God. Oh, they're 100% would have had Kevin Durant if it was like, oh, I think, I don't know, just speculation, they might still have Kevin Durant, but it's going to be at Oklahoma, so no, they're not going to have Kevin. If it was at Texas, then they would have Kevin Durant. He might still be at the game, though. I think Kevin Durant might go to that game. But he's not going to be on college football morning. Maybe. Maybe he will be on college football morning show. Who's turning in? Am I done talking about college football? I think I am. I think I should probably. I think maybe I should probably talk about the Suns' new combo. One of the best 1-2 combos in all NBA. I feel like YouTube is boring compared to Twitch. Kevin isn't here. That's maybe why. No, the reason why YouTube's boring compared to Twitch is because I don't. Oh, you just said it. Okay, we can't. Okay, maybe I can't talk. Maybe I can't call the AI Kevin. Because the AI Kevin. God, I forgot I called the AI Kevin. Is the same name as the guy who's actually named Kevin, who shows up on YouTube on the occasion and who shows up on Twitch practically all the time, and who's followed on my Twitter. And when I share out the Twitter, he usually shows up, even if it's only for like a little bit. He'll show up for like the first like few seconds. So maybe I should call the speech to text AI something like Kevin's just such a good name. You know, a basic male name. Steve. I said Steve, but I immediately. The reason why I didn't want to go with Steve. Corey with a C. Okay. Well, the AI is not okay. The AI is definitely. Oh, again, I think we can edit the AI. You can make them sound. I haven't tried it, but like from what I understand is, like you said, they can change the AI's like tone of voice or whatever. Make it a girl. Make it a girl. Give it a girl's name. Hey, you know what? The AI can change anytime, but there's only one thing you can be in life as far as gender is concerned. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You can't change. Even if you do change, you're still gonna be you're still gonna be the same you as when you were born. Can't escape it. You might want to escape it, but you can't. But the AI, see the AI. That's what's freaking terrifying. Is that they can change at any time. All right. Maybe people want to be robots so bad that they literally don't even know it, but they're taking human out of humanity by trying to. Okay, we're not gonna go down that avenue. I mean, I might be spitting on the mic right now, but we're not going to go down that avenue. Wait a minute, this is a sports conversation we're talking about. We're having a wholesome conversation, not politics. Even though it shouldn't be politics, this is just straight facts, not political garbage. There's just no politics. This is just straight up 100% unadulterated facts, which could be another title for another live stream later on in the future. Straight up, unadulterated, 100% fact of the day, number one. There's two genders. Straight up, unadulterated, 100% fact of the day, number two. You can't change. Even if you do change, you're still the gender you were born with, no matter what you say. Because if you say that I identify as such and such gender, even though that gender is not a gender, it's a sexual preference. There's a difference, and people need to realize that and wake up and look in the mirror and actually legitimately realize that it's not a gender. You're okay, okay. You might identify as whatever you think you identify as, and I identify that you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 1 hour and 35 minutes in this video, and I still haven't gotten to the topic, which is the actual thumbnail of the video itself. By the way, I want to throw that out there. Which the topic and the actual video itself is, if you look up the names of the starting 5 of the Phoenix Suns, before we get back to the side topic, main topic, the names of the starting 5 of the Phoenix Suns, and again, you don't need to follow sports to understand, are as follows, or what I think of the starting 5. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. Let me say that again. This is where AI Corey, if he changed his name to Corey, this is probably what he'd sound like. The starting 5 for the Phoenix Suns are as follows: Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Bobo Adebayo, and who did we just get? Who's the guy that we literally just got? The center. Get in the paint with the center. The center. He's the guy who plays in the center. It's called the center because he's literally in the center of the court on the half court. You know, and there's a little box in the middle of the hoop. No, it's not Nicki Minaj. No, we're not that bad. We're really good. We're not bad. All right, if this was 10 years ago, Suns, it would be Nicki Minaj. They take up a lot of space in the center. That is, in fact, a fact. They would take up a lot of space in the center. They might be pretty good at the center. You know what? You might be on to something. They might be pretty good as well. They would have to be like 5. They would have to be like 2 feet taller. But I'm sure you probably have to have large thighs to be good as a center in the NBA. At least that would probably help a lot because you have to box out, and you don't really box out with your arms. You box out with your strength in your legs, and by quite literally backing that thing up and grinding on another dude tight with other dudes next to you, and you quite literally grind up against another dude. I am not exaggerating. That is the technique that you're supposed to use. And females out here on the streets like Nicki Minaj know that all too well. You know, they've grown. In fact, Nicki Minaj might be the only person that's grinded up against more dudes than centers in the NBA. You know, like if we're talking about that particular body count, like Nicki Minaj probably has more experience grinding on other dudes than Shaq. And Shaq has a lot of experience grinding up against other dudes. Somebody clip that, even though you can't clip it. It's done. I'm sure she can get something to make her tall. Oh yeah. Get like stilts. Get stilts. Well, the thing is surprisingly she's making more money than the average center in the NBA. Except for DeAndre Ayton, which we traded away for a guy, Yusuf Nurkic. I can't. Nurkic? Yusuf. He actually has my name, but you pronounce the J. I think he literally has my exact name, Joseph, but you pronounce his J in his name as a Y because he's a Russian guy. And he's definitely 100% a Russian guy. There's no way he's not from Russia, or at least from that area where they talk like Russian people, which is either one of two countries, Russia or Ukraine. He's definitely from one of those two countries. That's the Sun starting five. I'll say that one more time. The Sun starting five. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Bobo Adebayo, and Yusuf Nurkic. Game 1, that's going to be the starting five of the regular season. Game 1 of the regular season is going to be that exact starting five. So the joke being the best 1-2 combo in the NBA this year is going to be Devin Booker and Bobo Adebayo. And I have a picture of a bowl in a book. So when the video goes out and I select public for the VOD of this video, again, it's gonna be jarring that it's vertical. I might change it because I have a TikTok, so I might change it to the still image that I put up on TikTok, which is just taken horizontally and just put it vertically. But it's not really, well, it doesn't fill the, you know what I mean, taking the horizontal photo and then tilting it so it fits it. Because otherwise you're kind of misled. You think the video is gonna obviously be like this, you know what I'm saying? Damn, I tried to clip it, but it won't load. Damn. What is this? 1 hour, 40 minutes into the video. I'll have to clip it myself. I have for a solid actually probably 1 hour and 38 minutes in the video. I have I guess you can, as a comment, you can timestamp it. And if I don't go and timestamp it myself, just go and timestamp it in the comments when the VOD comes out. And then I'll talk, and then I'll take that good solid 2 minutes that we were talking about. Big dudes grinding on each other in a tight space. Go ahead and take that out of context, and that will be a great little short that I can put on YouTube and on TikTok. That's the NBA in a nutshell, really. It's just a bunch of big dudes grinding on each other in a tight space. And people pay good money to go see that on a almost day-to-day basis for 82 days. And there's studious, rich, white guys that pay hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars to own a team, and hundreds of millions of dollars to in paychecks to these guys that are big dudes grinding on each other in a tight space. Again, as an NBA scout, you're not really in you can't really be in the right headspace mentally because you're in the market of big dudes grinding against each other in a tight space. And you're trying to pay the guy who's the best at doing that a lot of money. If you say that part of your career without explaining that it's the NBA, you're gonna get looked at in a lot of weird are gonna be heading your way. And when I clip that out of context and put it on TikTok, um, I'm gonna get a lot of weird looks and reactions. I think, obviously, but I probably don't need to do anything more since there's not any actual NBA games being played yet. So I probably don't need to talk about like the actual thumbnail. The last thing I'm going to talk about, because the title's more important, is well, actually that might be everything. No. I mean, I guess playoffs baseball, which I already talked about. Covered basketball very briefly. Actually, right now they're talking about the Bucks lineup. The Bucks lineup is insane. If you look at Dame Time, Lillard, and Giannis, big man down in the middle, and Antetokounmpo, can't stop that guy. And Antetokounmpo, and they still have Chris, big time buckets every once in a while, Middleton. Then you actually have a really good team there. I mean, they're already really good, and now they have Dame Dalla, Dame Time Middleton, and Dame Time Lillard on that team. They're going to be really fun to watch, to say the least, and terrifying to play against in the playoffs. And the only team more terrifying to play against is going to be the Suns, in my opinion, with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bol, and the lack of DeAndre Ayton holding the team behind and being an anchor, dragging the team, because the team's the boat, and the anchor was still there, and they now pulled up the anchor, and that anchor was DeAndre Ayton, and the anchor's not a good thing in this case. Whereas I reference him as the anchor because the center is the anchor of the team defensively, and that is a thing that he was not on a consistent basis. Even though I think he could have been that, and he still could be that for the Portland Trail Blazers. But now that I've talked basketball, I think I've talked about everything on my title, and I've talked about what my thumbnail is and why my thumbnail is the way that it is. I think I'm good to close down this stream on YouTube and maybe switch over to Twitch. And maybe I'll watch this very interesting video that I saw about the Diamondbacks on the MLB channel. Which, as far as all the sports channels are concerned, I know the Major League Baseball is not the most popular sport, even though I think as far as in the world, I think it's a lot more popular around the world than it is in America itself. I mean, I guess even especially now with the way Major League Baseball has a pitch clock, which actually I think adds a lot to Major League Baseball. The new rules that they've added and makes the game, I think it's going to make the game a lot more interesting even in the playoffs, which they're going to uphold the rules and not change them in the slightest. And I think in playoffs baseball it's going to make it, it's going to be magnified by 10. since playoffs baseball, everything in the playoffs in baseball is magnified by 10. In every other sport, it's going to be magnified by 5 at the most. But in playoff baseball, every little detail is magnified by 10. And stuff like the pitch clock is going to be used. I think there's going to be so much stuff with the pitch clock in particular that's going to be used this year in the playoffs as the first year as having a pitch clock. There's going to be a lot more strategy built around the pitch clock. Dear Dairy. Dear Dyer. Did I really just read that as dairy? It's. Can you stop talking about Australia like that? That is offensive to talk about Australia like that. They don't deserve that. I mean, I'm sure half of the people that live in Australia probably don't use deodorant. But I mean, come on, people in Australia are really cool. Okay? It is just now turning summer in Australia, and they're experiencing the heat that we've experienced, we in Arizona have experienced for the past 6.5 months. So, I think that people in Australia are really cool because they have to, and relatable because they have to experience the heat and all of the surrounding elements of the wildlife being an issue along with the heat. So let's not talk about Australia like that. So, let's get that talk out of there. That Australia sounder out of there. It stinks down there. Shut up. The two. No. I'm not going bald. I'll probably just wear a hat anyway. Even if I was going bald, I'd be wearing a hat all the time. I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to tell. Unless you look in the back. But in the back, you wouldn't be able to tell. Because I usually have a 0 in the back. A hat with a ponytail. Are you okay? Like, is everything together? You good, dog? That would probably look hilarious, though. Like, isn't there a biker? Isn't there a biker in an animated show where do they have like a ponytail? And it's like all they have, they're bald, but like they have a ponytail. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the live stream. Since I talked about all the talking points in the live stream, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream so I can watch this video that I so crave and so want to watch. And I sound sarcastic when I say that, but I actually really want to watch this video, and I can't do the tablet being the way it is, and it's just really unfortunate. Because this live stream's actually gone really, really well so far. I think I've gotten all my talking points across, and I've gotten to talk to the audience directly. And you know what? That's a win in my book in 2 categories. And I would like to see you in a live stream on Twitch later. Otherwise, see you later. You know what I'm saying? It's been a pleasure. And be sure to tune in the next live stream on YouTube, because on YouTube in the next live stream I'm probably going to be talking about something actually relatable, and that is about McDonald's. And like I said again, what do you call McDonald's? That's not McDonald's. And a list of other topics, but it'd be more like a podcast that I think I could talk to the audience directly about, and anyone who comes in directly to them about. I'm gonna go live on Twitch in probably like another 10 to 30 minutes. So I'll also be sure to catch you there, and then we can do some nana-gannery over there, and because we're so serious and studious, and so you know, professional over here on YouTube, or at least we can put on that facade, as I'm sure one last person will come through, because if you don't notice, on and off, people were just showing up for like 1 second and leaving. It's because you can scroll through like it's TikTok when it's vertical, and if it's horizontal, you can't do that. So I'll have a higher chance on another video live stream just like this being actually discovered, and people actually might click and watch if I have the title be something completely different that relates to literally everybody and not to a select few. That's my guess. Just a thought. But you have to see it next time, and I'll share it. And I gotta shut up so I actually can watch this thing, because I actually want to watch this thing because it seems really cool. At least for me, in my perspective. And it's about sports. And I guess I could say we watch it together, but it's highlights of actual game footage that I can't show. And it'll get copyrighted. And if I get copyright striked over like 30 seconds of game footage not even 30 seconds, like 5 seconds game footage out of 2 hours of a don't forget to medicate your not violent. We can see you both on Twitch. Do both on Twitch. Objective not completed. No, objective is definitely completed. I talked about all the talking points today, and I've got my point across today, and I had a good live stream. As far as YouTube's concerned, objective completed. Now I'm gonna sit back, and I'm going to watch some YouTube myself, and then I'll go live on Twitch in a minute. And I say in a minute, but I actually might take a little bit of a nap. I don't know. Do some quote unquote me time. I might make a sandwich or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I will see you guys. I mean, ew. Professor, Broski, Brohomadome, Protein Shake, Brotacho. I'll see you later.